Hey friends. Oh, I know that I've been on here a few times lately and I've been sharing some stuff that's been hard to share and some stuff that's informative, but I also wanted to share with you some things that God has been doing in my life and things that He's been showing me and share with you basically what my plans are, which are really His plans, I've figured out. Um, so a couple of things that God has been doing. So one, thank you all so much for praying after my video that I shared last week. Um, God has been answering prayers, and it looks like the religious exemptions, we're hearing positive reports from those. So thank you so much for that first. And also when it comes to just the spirit, that like the mood and energy that it's been at the hospital, it was so much better this past weekend. And I 100% attribute that to the prayers of God's people. So thank you. Thank you so much for that. Um, it was very powerful and palpable, and it was just such a blessing. But I specifically wanted to get on here and share with you all some things that God has been showing me and leading me in. And so, as many of you, I think, gathered from my video from last week, my time is coming to an end at the hospital. And it's a job that I've had. I've been at the Med Center for 15 years now, coming on 15 years, and I've been with the system for 16 years total, come December. But I started this past summer in, I think it was the end of June, early July. I started doing a dedicated 21 days of prayer Bible study, and it was a study and a devotional, and it was just specific prayers for 21 days over my business, and by that I mean my essential oil business. And I did not do it consistently for 21 consecutive days each and every day, but I did it pretty consistently. I struggled on the days that I worked, to get it in, but God started a process in that time. And that study was great because it really had me focus on giving God control and being intentional and basically learning, how God has made me uniquely, and how, like, the experiences in my past, both good and bad, have shaped me into the person that I am, and how God can use those to further His mission and His glory and His plan for my life, So I learned how to focus on my strengths and how God, made me special. He makes each and every one of us special. You too. And, so many times we focus on our weaknesses instead of our strengths. And this study and another audiobook that I was listening to at the time also really focused on strengths. And through this time, and in giving God control and just really praying for Him to be in control and for Him to give me His vision for our lives, God started speaking to my heart, and He was telling me that I needed to start getting ready to leave the hospital, or I needed to be prepared to leave the hospital. And at the time, I didn't know really what that meant, except just those words, and it was terrifying because that's what I've known. That's been my security, as far as income goes and benefits. And I enjoy my job, like the actual job, I enjoy what I do for caring for patients, and I enjoy my coworkers. They're like my family, but I consistently, day after day, felt God nudging me, in my heart and telling me that I needed to be getting ready, or preparing to leave my job. And so Stevie and I started praying about that. I started talking to him about that and started really spending time in prayer. By that time, I think I was finishing up that 21 days study. And so we started spending time in prayer, and I especially did. I'm just praying for God to show me what He meant by that, what that looks like, because I'm a planner. I love to have a plan, a big plan, and I like to have things like a backup plan, and I'm detail oriented. And so this was big and scary, and so I really just started leaning into God's Word and what He was trying to show me and teach me. And a couple of the verses that I'll share with you real quickly from that study were Jeremiah 29:13. Most of us know Jeremiah 29:11. But Jeremiah 29:13, which I love that whole passage, 11 through 13, but 13 says, "You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart." And so that verse really started speaking to me that, I really needed to seek him with all my heart and his will. And James 1:2 through 4, because we started going through some trials and pressures, especially at work, it seemed like. And this passage in James says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." And so as time passed, I still wrestled with the thought of leaving the hospital, like God was kind of leading, or, telling me, whispering to my heart to do. But in that time, I started using some oils that just really help you with focusing when you're praying and trying to, connect spiritually, and just trying to block out distractions and block out, the lies of the enemy that were trying to feed in all these fears into me instead of trusting God, because God says, "Do not fear," right? He does not give us a spirit of fear. And so through this process and continuing to pray, it felt clearer and clearer that I needed to start really being ready to leave the hospital. And so during that time, I started feeling like I needed to be getting ready, to leave at the end of the year. And so oh, Stevie, sorry. During that time, it was becoming clear that I needed to try to wrap up probably by the end of the year. And I didn't know why, but I had, felt like the Lord did not want me to take the COVID vaccine. Like, I'm not anti-vax, and I'm glad that people who want that choice have that choice, that makes them feel secure. But I did not feel that that was right for me. And then we could start seeing the writing on the wall coming that it was going to be mandatory. And so that led to more tears, more prayers. And God just really started giving me a peace about it, and started showing me about mid-October, when we went to a ladies' conference in Virginia with our church ladies. He started it seemed like every single speaker at that conference spoke to some kind of hesitation that I had, or a fear that I had. And God just used them to really confirm that this is what I needed to do. And so then I was like, okay, so when does this need to happen, Lord? And I started feeling like it needed to be, the first Friday in November. And I didn't know why, but that was when I needed to turn in my notice. And I'm like, okay, Lord, so how long does my notice need to be? How long do I need to give them? And so I felt comfortable with a 2-month notice, because then that would get me and my coworkers through the holidays, and it would, I wouldn't leave them high and dry, because I work weekends, and that's something else too that the Lord had started speaking on my heart. So we've been at a new church this year, and I realized, and God was really leaning on my heart, that I needed to be in church more, and that I needed to be in church with my family on Sundays. And that is something that He had not been saying to me for the whole time I'd been on weekends, which has been 4 years now. But I really felt Him speaking to my heart, like, now's the time to come back. So I didn't want to leave my coworkers, like I said, high and dry. And so I thought, well, I can turn in my notice the first Friday of November, like God's leading me to do, and I can make my last day, like, second weekend in January. That'll give us plenty of time, right? And so I prayed about it, and then finally, the day before that day, so it was November 4th, November 5th was when I turned in my notice, but on the 4th, I started writing my resignation letter and prayed over it. And then I heard the announcement that the Medicare, the CMS vaccine mandates were coming. It was announced that same day, and I thought, okay, this must be why the Lord is, kind of nudging me to get out the door. And so I wrote my letter, put it in an envelope, and I turned it in to my manager the next day. And that same day is the day that the CMS mandate went into effect. So that really cracked me up, that God's timing, like it's the best. It's impeccable. Like he knows what's coming when we don't. And so I messaged a couple of my close friends and asked them to be praying for me because I was going to be turning in my notice, and they did. And I had such a peace about it because I was really just on the inside really nervous about it, just because of past experiences with my manager, and just knowing how it was going to maybe leave our department, in a bit of a lurch, or I was worried about that. And she was so receptive to it, and it went so smoothly. And I was like, wow, God, you're really in this. And then I knew too that the CMS mandate had taken effect, and I'm like, God, your timing is just perfect. And so I've turned in my notice, and my last day was supposed to be January 9th. But now, because of the mandates, that's been cut short, and it's been pushed back to December 5th. So my last day is going to be December 5th on a Sunday. And, it's bittersweet to me. Like I said, I still love my job. I love what I do for patient care, and I love my patients and my coworkers. It's just that things have changed in the system, and it's okay for things to change, and it's okay to move on if it's not a good fit, right? So, anyway, the real sense of humor part of this for me is that, so the day that I started my job, my start date, which is like my annual eval date, it goes off your hire date, it was December 19th, and then my last day is going to be December 5th. So guess what my boys' birthdays are? Y'all know we have December babies, right? Yep, their birthdays are on December 5th and December 19th. So I just thought that was just a little God sense of humor. I love how he uses numbers many times. And so that was just confirmation to me too, that I'm on the right track and that I'm doing what he wants me to do. So now you might be wondering what I'm going to be doing, right? So it looks like God's plan for me is for me to jump whole hog, jump with both feet into my wellness business. So my essential oils business, I'm a brand partner with Young Living, and I've been doing that casually, like I've been doing it for about 6 years now. I've been with the company for 7, but I've been doing it more part-time and on the side, but now it's going to be my full-time gig. It's going to be my passion, and I'm so excited about that. I am working on getting a business license, and that's why I'm doing this video where we are, is because I am going to be getting a business license, and we're going to be converting Stevie's building. Part of it, this half here that I'm standing in, is going to be my future business. So I'm excited to be sharing the changes that we make to this. This is going to be office space and meeting and classroom space. It's where I'm going to be doing Zyto scans, which are biofeedback scans. I've already done a few of those, and the accuracy of them and how much it helps people with knowing what their body is telling them and what products will support their body best, what their body responds to the best. It has been phenomenal, and it's just been a blessing, and it's going to continue to be a blessing. So that's what's going to be happening in this space. I'm also working on getting my certification in aromatherapy coaching, and I may get an affiliate license with that. I'm still going to keep my speech therapy license and certification, so I'm not going to close that door just yet because I don't feel like God has told me to. So who knows, I may be doing that a little bit here and there from home, but I'm going to be working from home, which has been something really that I've wanted to do for a while, but just haven't had the faith and the courage to do so. But I'm also looking into getting probably like some other certifications, but the one that feels like the best fit is a brain health practitioner certification. If you know me, you know I love the brain, I love neuro stuff, and I love mind-body wellness, being aware of how our emotions affect our physical body. and helping to crack that code and chronic things that are going on with people. So that just seems like a perfect fit with my oils and with me and what I love and am passionate about. So that's going to be happening in addition to just doing this business. And so I will be taking on clients for that too once I get those certifications. So I'm really, really excited about what God has been doing with that. And just as another confirmation, I have to share with you that that I'm on the right path, is that each time I have started to take a step of faith in this adventure, and each time that I've maybe told a friend, even before I resigned or turned in my notice, each time I took a step and told a friend about it and asked them to pray, that I was feeling like God was wanting me to do this, and would they pray with me about it, and then when we shared it with our church, to be praying as that was approaching, each time I took a step of faith, God brought a new customer to me. And since the beginning of October, well, I'll just go ahead and tell you the rest of the year, this year, I've gotten maybe 3 new customers myself this year. The rest, like I still have a large customer base, that I've had for years, and they're amazing. But as far as bringing in new customers, I hadn't had much come in this year. And so, amazingly enough, each time I took a step of faith, told someone what I was doing, asked them to pray for me about it. Each time I did that, because that was a step of faith, just to admit that out loud for me, to get it out of my head and speak it, God met me with a new customer. And since the end of October, like the last 2-3 days of October, he has brought, I think it's 7 new customers to me. And so, like, he is just being so good with this and so faithful. And I'm just so excited about how he's going to use this for his glory, and how he's going to use it to bless others and bring them to wholeness and healing in him. So I want to ask you all to continue to pray for me with this. And if you're excited with me too, let me know. You can drop a comment here. And sorry, my video is kind of shaky because I'm holding it and trying to talk, but I'm just a little excited about this, and it's a little chilly out here. But I just wanted to let you all know that I am okay, that God's got me. He's got this, he's got us, and no matter how it goes, I'm trusting that I'm doing his will. One friend, I'll leave you with one more nugget. One friend had asked me, actually a few people have asked me, was I not scared of, what I'm leaving behind? Because the position that I'm in, to let you know too, I can't go back to it because it no longer exists. Like right now, weekend therapists get a differential pay, and that we were grandfathered into that system when they did away with it about 2 years ago. And so if I were to go back, I can't get the same pay again. And I can't get into that same position. So I truly am leaving it behind with no turning back, and I'm leaving the benefits that I have and that security, and so she had asked me, and a couple others have asked me, aren't you scared, about that? And are you sure you're not making a mistake? And I really, in my heart of hearts, was able to answer that, I'm more scared at this point of missing out on the blessings that God has in store for me than I'm scared of what I'm leaving behind, because I've already seen how good he's been with this, and it has me so excited, and it's just going to be amazing, y'all. So yeah, so I just wanted to share that with you, and thank you for your prayers, and keep them coming. And I'll share with you all the updates too as we get this building totally revamped, or half of it anyway. Big changes coming soon to it, and I'm hoping that we may have it ready by January 1st to be able to get officially licensed and all. So I love you all. Thank you, and I'm praying for you too, if you're my healthcare workers that are still facing the mandate decisions and what you're going to do. If you need some encouragement, reach out to me. I'm here, okay? And I'm praying that if you're doing a religious exemption, that it's getting approved. So looking forward to it, and now I'm off to a basketball game here in a little while. So I'll see you guys later. Thank you.